Hi, and welcome to Canadianish Comedians. I'm Laura Toogood.
And I'm Julie Betts.
Today, we are lucky to have an actor and improviser on our show, none other than Steph Haller.
Yay!
Hi, Steph.
Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure.
So, I'm thinking you must be really exhausted because I understand that most recently you completed a 30-show tour of your 50-minute improv show, Too Much Information Improvised.
Yes. Wow. I'm definitely tired, and I'm so impressed because I think that's the only time anyone's ever gotten the name of our show right.
What? Stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Good job, Laura. Good job.
Yeah.
That's a first for me too.
Yeah. Yeah, we chose the name very early on in the process, and we crowdsourced it. And don't do that. Don't crowdsource a name.
Why? That's so funny.
Yeah, well, it's confusing because it's not the name of our troupe either. And so people were always like, it's too much improv, right? Yeah, sure. That's it.
Yes,
too
and
much information improvised.
That's awesome. So you developed the show with your ex, though.
Yes, yeah.
How interesting was that?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
It was quite a process. So yes, my ex and I, Paddy McDonald, he and I dated, I guess it's around 8 years ago now. And it was very brief. And because it was so brief and kind of almost inconsequential, we remained friends, and we kept on hanging out and started taking an improv class together, and kind of realized that we had this like really fun chemistry. And at that point, Paddy got into the Toronto Fringe, and we kind of went, oh, let's put on a show. Let's do something. And we spent a long time trying to develop different formats and trying to figure out what worked for the two of us. And we kind of went, oh, what makes us unique? And then kind of went, oh, well, there is that one thing where we used to date.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we started telling stories about our relationship and the pitfalls of that, and how it didn't work out. And then just doing improv based off of those stories. But we did a 4-show tour this past summer, or not 4 shows, 4 city.
Wow.
And my brain got mushy over the course of that. So here we are, all finished and ready to take a break, I think.
So it's almost like having a relationship with someone that you used to have a relationship with, making fun of that relationship in a relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
So many layers. That's exactly right.
Crazy onion.
It would almost be like dating again, because you would be spending so much time together. And I'm sure that with most comic budgets or comedians' budgets, that you probably ended up like sharing everything, hotel rooms and, meals and
too much information. We even, towards the end of the process, I mean, like our budget was always really tight. And towards the end, we like totally ran out of money, and ended up camping for a couple nights in Kingston. And so we shared a tent even.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think if I had to do that with my ex, I would be in Kingston, but probably at the penitentiary. Right?
I mean, yeah, he always said that like the reason it wasn't even so much like sharing a space that was tough. We were like pretty okay being around each other physically, but I snore really loud. And so he was like, I don't mind like being in the same space as you. Do you just fucking snore so loud? Also, I'll just check in. Is it okay if I swear?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, okay.
Of course. We need to have that in our preamble that swearing is okay. We're good.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
I love it when people ask though.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering what I should say.
No.
Bleep, no.
So the snoring thing, that's so funny because usually it's the guy that snores. Although in my relationship, like my ex marriage, he snored, but I snored even worse. So it was not fun. So I know the pitfalls, but then you get, I don't know what Paddy's problem was, because you do kind of get used to it. And it's almost like a white noise at times when someone snores. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I'm such a deep sleeper that like I'm dead to the world for 8 hours every night. My partner is similarly like, you're a nightmare.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's okay though. I'm trying mouth tape now. This works.
Yeah. There's so many videos now on YouTube about how to stop snoring. It's like crazy.
This is going to be my next hour after this. Looking for YouTube videos on how to not snore.
Wow.
I feel your pain.
I wish I could sleep. That's all I care. I know when I got cats, for example, the purring, I psyched myself into enjoying the purring at night. That way I was able to use it as a sleep aid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've got two, and they have quit sleeping with us. So I guess I'm too loud for them as well.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah. That's less kitty litter in the bed.
So you said though that you have a partner now. Mm-hmm. How did your partner feel about you going on the road with your ex?
Well, he just found out.
Oh, yeah. He didn't know.
Yes, that's where I was all summer. So my partner, John, he and I have been together pretty much. Paddy was my last relationship before I met John.
Okay.
So John's been around for kind of this whole process, and he doesn't care at all. He's like so confident and just he is very self-sufficient, and like we very much have like our own lives but always come together in the end. John's main thing is that like he's really happy that the project went so well and everything. He mostly just hates improv though. So
perfect. Awesome.
He's a fan of comedy. So.
He's not a fan of comedy?
No, not really.
Okay. How do you do it? I'm shocked.
I think he's like one of the funniest people that I know that like, but has like no desire to like go and sit in a theater. So he's so funny, but likes to just keep it in our own space.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We've got our other things. So we're pretty happy, and we're married.
That's awesome. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So wait, a married woman went on the road for the entire summer with her ex-boyfriend. You guys are brave. Good for you.
Well, Paddy got married recently as well. Oh. His wife is an actor, so she kind of more understands this whole like it's a creative project. It's just what we're working on. Yeah. But similarly, doesn't like improv. She's a theater actor. So.
Okay. Yeah. Theater snob usually, right?
she's the best. No snobbiness at all. But just is like, why don't you write it down?
Oh no, right? It's not the same. I don't get it. That's so funny.
So, Steph, you mentioned that you're currently working with an improv troupe. Not Irritated, is that the name? And whereabouts are they based, and where do you perform?
Yeah, so Not Irritated, we formed in 2019, and we performed all throughout the summer in the Fever Pitch competition, which was run through Bad Dog. And we were a finalist, which was pretty cool. There are 4 of us involved in it. It's myself, Simon Palick, who's a filmmaker. We have Gordon Harper, who's an incredible actor. And Holly Easton, who is also an incredible actor. The 4 of us really just kind of clicked. We really liked working together, and actually continued our project throughout lockdown. So we were getting together like once a week online to play little improv games with one another. And when that became kind of too much, because I think everyone reached this stage where we were like, you know what, this is going to be a long time, I think. Yeah. We switched it up and we became a book club.
Oh, fun. That's fun.
Awesome.
So we would read books and check in with one another because we just liked hanging out with each other. And now we've just recently started back up. So we're really excited. We're rehearsing in the same space again. And we're really excited to get on to performing. So we actually don't have anything scheduled quite yet, but I mean, keep an eye out. I would imagine when we do perform, we perform at SoCap and we perform at whatever Bad Dog venue is available.
Do you guys have your own Instagram account?
We don't. We're kind of we're very niche right now.
That's a good way to put it, right? We're very niche.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But so fun. We're having so much fun trying to figure out what our thing is. Kind of similarly to when Paddy and I were like, what's our deal? So I guess maybe it's the book club thing. Maybe we do improv based on books or something.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun. That would. There's some great books out there that you could do for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We were a big fan of the horror genre.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something in that.
Yeah. The Assembly. What are you doing with them and how is that going?
Yeah. The Assembly I'm having so much fun with. I am currently coaching a team called Hound Parade. Cool. And they are just the best. We're in very early stages right now. We're, again, it's same kind of thing. We're figuring it out right now. We're trying to figure out what our angle is on improv. Because we all want to figure out where our point of connection is as a team, because they're all new people. We're all new to one another.
Nice.
And so it's really cool to start trying to figure it all out. I'm sure for the two of you. So you mentioned that you met doing stand up and improv.
Yeah.
What was that thing that you just were like, oh, we're going to be best friends now?
Probably because for me anyway, we equally made each other laugh and we shared that. It's not like I'm funnier than you or I'm better than you.
I am funnier than her, but it's okay. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Thank you. Thank you. She's bowing to me. It's all good.
Yeah, she'll twist my arm later. But I don't know. What do you think, Julie?
Well, I think that we just had a connection. Originally with our first podcast that we did, Bitches on Benches, there was 4 of us that we all met in the same comedy in improv classes. And for some reason, the 4 of us just hit it off. We all made each other laugh incessantly. And we kind of had that grumpy old lady kind of bitchiness with, a little bit of everything thrown in. So it was fun. It was good. But I think the challenge for young people wanting to get into improv though, or new people, they don't have to be young because believe me, I was not young when I started, is finding your group and finding a place where you feel comfortable and finding ways to get into it. Honestly, I know there's classes and I feel a lot of, especially the downtown scene, you kind of had to be part of one of the classes, like either had to go through Second City or through Bad Dog, or even SoCap now has their classes before you can get any stage time or meet people. And it's harder for people out in the burbs where we don't necessarily have those types of events readily available. So it's cool that you're coaching people and you're teaching them how to do that and helping people find their path through improv.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the things that I'm drawn to most about improv in general is that it's for everybody. Anybody can do it. Everybody can do it. And it's a thing that really like, I'm going to sound so culty, but like, but it can improve so many areas of your life, like be it public speaking or just like trying to find little bits of joy and like points of connection in your life. I just love it. And I love trying to find what that special thing is going to be for individual people. Yeah.
That's amazing. So are you technically teaching at the assembly or coaching? Where is it? We tried to look it up and we're like, couldn't find it. So
yeah, it's so the assembly, much like a lot of venues over the course of it wasn't even ever a venue. Their space though, they had to switch it around after lockdown. And so they're currently operating out of like the East End, kind of near Queen and Broadview-ish.
Okay.
The way that the assembly works basically is you, in order to audition for like a house team, you have to go through their 101 to 301, which is like just these three kind of basics classes where you learn about long form and game of the scene, all of that fun stuff. And then you can audition for their house teams. And they've got a whole group of house teams. A whole bunch of people have come out of the assembly. It's like name dropping, I guess. But like the Tall Boys, they started at the assembly. And there are some incredible teams. Orson Wales. There's who else? There's a group that is defunct now, but it was incredible, called Fire, Fire, Fire. That was like an all-female troupe. It's just it's a really nice place to kind of foster those, like foster creation, because they really want all of their teams to find their own distinctive style. So I'm currently coaching, which just means that I'm helping guide a team to find their own voice. Yeah.
So you're like the mentor on The Voice, right?
Maybe.
Kind of, right? Like, who would you be? Christina Aguilera with like her little troupe?
For sure, the Christina Aguilera.
Yeah. Well, immediately that's what I thought. So,
well, I've got the voice for sure. So.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's a really awesome place to be a part of the machine. Yeah,
that's great.
It's super fun.
I wish people would take some of these programs further north and further east and further west. For us people that are out in the burbs, it's a little bit harder to like get downtown or to the East End. You know what I mean? All the time. Yeah. So we're putting a call out there if anybody wants to start anything up here.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you folks are in Newmarket?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like the north end of the city. So.
Okay. All right.
Steph's like,
Good to know.
Right? Yeah. Right, Laura? So you're ready? I'm ready too. I've been ready for a long time. One of the quotes that you said at one point was that it's important to let perfectionism go and to find the fun in failure. What did you mean by that?
So I have been really on a journey recently of trying to let go of of the idea of perfectionism. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. I never really saw it as I'm a perfectionist, because like I'm not. I guess when I think of the word perfectionist, I'm like a person who's good at a lot of things, and very meticulous and stuff. I was letting this idea though of like not being good at things really hold me back from even trying, like even starting. So I like wouldn't apply to a job because I didn't have 100% of the qualifications, or like I've got a little sticker even right here on my computer here that says progress over perfection. Just like good. Trying to remind myself every day that that done is sometimes better than perfect. And that was really something that I had to work on a lot, specifically during TMII, too much information. I really wanted our show to be the best show that it possibly could be. I wanted for us to have like this connection every single day where we'd walk in and we would just be able to read each other's minds. And in doing that, I really restricted the process, I think, because I wanted it to be perfect every time. And I was expecting perfection also from my scene partner. I wanted him to read my mind as well. So a huge lesson over the course of that process was like letting go of that made our shows so much more fun and so much better. When the two of us could just let go and walk on stage and say, hey, this might be something great and this might be something terrible, and I'm really okay with either one of those outcomes. Yeah. That's where our show started to get exciting. Because when you walk off stage and you go, oh, that scene did not work out, but hey, you know what? At least I tried this, you tried a weird character that I've never seen before. Yeah. That was where the magic started to happen. It's a process. I still love to like hold on to these ideas of, oh, I want this to be the best I can possibly make it. Sometimes it's just good to just like get the bad stuff out of the way. So did I lose you there for a sec?
Yeah, Julie.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. Sorry. I was saying that my work has a tag phrase now that it's okay to fail. Like you learn from your failures. You know, you're never going to improve. You're never going to get better. Try, fail, try again, sort of a thing. Yeah. And it's so true. And with improv, like you never know. Like that's the one thing that I think that people who aren't in the improv world don't have a concept of that. Like it can be very daunting getting on a stage. And when you're hitting it, it's great. The world is wonderful. Everything, you know, your audiences are killing themselves laughing. And it's the best feeling that like, oh my goodness, I made all these people laugh. But then you have an off scene or an off night. And it's like, I never want to do this again. Like this was the worst experience of my life. Like what did I do? How did it go wrong? Like this was almost the same thing as 2 nights ago. And now tonight it just bombed.
Yeah.
You know, so being an improviser, like, and stand up or anything in the arts, I think it's really tough. And you're so right. Like letting perfectionism go and just being like, okay, it happened. Time to move on. Let's do something else. It's so true.
And I think too, your success or failures are as diverse as your audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's totally true. I think that sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes you do put out your best work, and it just isn't going to hit with that group that night. And and there's nothing you can do about it.
Nope.
Except
Nope.
laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like I can relate really hard to this idea as well. Like with Not Irritated when we did our run through Fever Pitch. So it was like a competition show. You went up against two teams every week, and we like crushed for the full thing until our last show. We won every single week, and then our last show we totally bombed.
No.
We like invited all of our friends and family. We were like, come see us. We're going to like crush these other teams. And we did not. We came in dead last that night.
Oh, wow.
And it was our final show. So we were very, very sad about it. And yeah, hilariously, John, my partner, came to that one and was like, yeah.
Of course it was that one, right?
The other teams were really good. I was like, you're okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I would have died. I would have been like, no, really, I'm funny. Like, we're really funny. Our troupe is really good. Like, this wasn't a good night. Oh my, I couldn't even imagine stuff. That would be horrible.
Yeah, that would freak me out going into a competition, I think, if I really wanted to win.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was a hard night, but I think we're all pretty ready to laugh about it now.
3 years later? No, I'm just joking. Right.
Might need a little bit more time, actually.
So let's get into some fuzzy stuff. You have cats. That's great. Yeah. So do I. Julie does not. She doesn't like cats, but she loves mine. Now there must be a challenge because having cats when you like knitting socks.
I mean, they definitely like to, chase around my my yarn. But they, for the most part, like they're kind of like roommates that don't really like me.
Oh no.
they hang out. They're nice. But they're kind of like, I'm gonna sit on the other side of the couch. Like, don't touch me. And they're from a hoarding house. And so I feel like this all makes sense. They're like it's their second year now here in my home. And so every day, they get a little bit more comfortable, and it's always kind of like surprising if one of them comes and sits on your lap. You're like, thank you for blessing me.
So cute.
So now, how do they feel about you singing them Harry Styles songs? And what's their favorite song?
Well, my one cat, Biff, he does not like any sort of bassy music. So he doesn't mind if I'm singing at him. But he definitely doesn't like music playing in the house.
Wow.
Tony is the other one. She could care less. But I love to sing. Like currently I'm singing As It Was all the time to them. Yeah. And they are pretty fine with it. I keep on glancing off because Biff is like sitting in his hammock, which is like way up near the ceiling. Get as far away from me as possible. That's what he wants to do. Yeah, I love to sing a little song at them. They don't care for it, but I have fun.
I do admire your choice of singers to sing. Harry is one of my favorites. I don't know why. He's like younger than my son, but he's so cute and he sings so well.
Oh man. Well, I mean, like the story of me loving Harry Styles comes from a place of spite.
The best place.
Yeah. My best friend and I used to go to this trivia night at Clinton's, and every week we would go. We never won, but we would always have a lot of fun. And there was a question one night. I'm going to try to get it right. But it was, I think, who was the most retweeted person of 2016 who wasn't a member of One Direction. And we were like, okay, we know pop culture. We know that this is a trick question because Zayn, I'm pretty sure someone named Zayn left One Direction in 2016. So it's got to be him. So we answered the question. We thought we were like gaining the system. And the trivia host refused to accept that answer. We did a lot of Googling afterwards because it was correct. Zayn was the most retweeted person and he hadn't been a member of One Direction for that full year. But the trivia host was like, no, fuck One Direction. And I'm not taking your answer. And so the two of us at that point were like, you know what? We are going to become huge One Direction fans to spite this trivia host. And so we started listening to them kind of as a joke. And it just developed into a love story. We really, really like One Direction now. It made its way into loving Harry Styles. We were really disappointed when his tour was canceled, obviously in 2020, because we had tickets.
Oh no.
We managed to get them, and Jenny Lewis was going to open for him. And when he came back in August, we tried our best to get those tickets, and it didn't work out. We did not get any.
Wow, they didn't honor the tickets.
No, they did not.
Wow.
That sucks. Well, maybe one day Harry will be listening to our podcast and reach out to you, Steph, and say, girl, here's some tickets.
If only.
Right.
We're going to have to tag him on this podcast.
We should.
I'm sorry, Steph, but awesome. We're going to have to.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait for him to reply.
Right. With my luck, it'll be some old guy named Harry Styles living in some right.
Harry Styleston, who changed his name.
Yeah.
Gotta love him though.
So we heard you also like tarot cards.
Yeah, I do. Cool. I love a tarot card. I read for friends mostly. I like usually I've got them right over there. I was reading before I came on today.
Nice.
Yeah,
So you showed up. That must have been a good sign.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I usually draw a card a day just to kind of see what the day holds, and kind of I usually try to ask something around the lines of what can I bring into the day that will help me survive.
I thought you were going to say help humanity or something like help me survive. Yeah, I work retail. I need that card every day.
Yeah. So I love reading for friends. I think it's kind of like my sneaky way of getting to know them better. It's a really quick way to kind of cut through all of the kind of small talk stuff. You can kind of go, do you want me to read your tarot cards? Let's see what's really going on in your life.
Oh, very cool.
And it's a nice kind of way of that's the way I like to connect with my friends.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So.
I own 2 decks of tarot cards, both of which I've opened maybe twice. I'm fascinated by them, but then by the same fact, I'm like, I don't want to start doing it if I really don't know what I'm doing. So I do have to at some point sit down and really figure out how to do it.
Well,
because it's
my favorite book that I have that I often refer to is by Liz Worth. Who is a Toronto-based tarot specialist. What is it called? like Unlocking Tarot or something like that. But yeah,
Cool.
the name Liz Worth, she is great.
Awesome.
And she has like, I love that she kind of looks at cards in such a way of like questions. So when you get a card, she gives you like a ton of questions to ask yourself or ask whoever you're reading for.
Interesting.
To like help you think about what the card could possibly mean to you.
Yeah. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah. Both of the decks that I bought came with the little pocket books, but then it's like, so you pull the cards and then it's like, okay, so this means that, and it's just daunting for me anyways, for now. I need another lockdown to be able to spend some time figuring it out. No, I don't. No more lockdowns. No more.
I know Paddy, over the course of the summer, because I always bring my tarot cards with me, I kept on being like, you want me to read yours? And he'd be like, no, I'm good. I don't want that. I am scared of what they could possibly say.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's great. What would be your most fearful card? Like if you were to pull something, what do you think would cause the most fear in you?
I mean, I would try not to be scared of cards.
Yeah.
But
true.
like ones that kind of are tough are things like the Five of Pentacles is tough. That's like
that's hilarious. We were talking about the Five of Testicles earlier.
There you go.
So why though? Why, Steph?
It's usually an indication of like, things can be a little tough. It's like an indication of a very long journey, either that you're in or you have ahead. And it's usually like trials and tribulations. Things will be difficult, perhaps medically, perhaps just mentally, and that it's not gonna be easy. But like there's always kind of the like opposite end, right? So you could also be like, yeah, this isn't gonna be easy, but I'm gonna learn so much as I go through this. And sometimes it's a good indication, like if I've got a bunch of cards out and that like is this card comes up in like the advice category, maybe it's like, get ready to put a little bit more like sticks on the fire or something like that, kind of, or like get ready, like have a rest before this next period. So it's often filled with a lot of information, even if it's like not the happiest information.
Now, what do you do if you have a show planned and you pull the Five of Tentacles? Testicles, pentacles. Come on, it makes sense. Five of Pentacles.
I'm gonna have like a limerick by the end of this. I try not to read before shows anymore.
Oh no, that sounds like a story.
It's just like sometimes if like you have a lot of cards that are like you're not gonna be in a good place, then you go in thinking you're not gonna be in a good place. So unless I have something kind of specific that I'm trying to work out in my head, like that kind of like one card of the day, what can I bring into the day? I might ask a question before a show, like what's something I could focus on in this show to make it more fun for myself. So if I were to like draw the Five of Pentacles there, I'd be like, okay, so like maybe I should try not to be so down on myself, or like try to think of shorter, like more quippy bits, rather than focusing on like a big long narrative journey. But yeah, the cards can mean so many things to different people too. So like that's just kind of like what I take from it, right? So it can be different for everyone.
That's great.
Yeah.
Have you used that in your improv at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
did a show with a class at Bad Dog a couple years ago. And it was actually really interesting. So the teacher of this class was Andrew Bichelle, who is an incredible teacher. I think about his lessons often. So if you ever have the chance to be taught by Andrew Bichelle, definitely leap at that.
Nice.
He's like also killing it in like Hallmark Christmas movies these days. So like
That's great.
you can see him on the Women's Network.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Wow.
So in this class, Andrew one day asked for everyone to bring in a talent, and we did like this little talent show.
Oh, cool.
And I thought it was such a smart idea because we were kind of disconnected as a class, and it was something where like you could just bring in something small to just show this is a different part of myself that isn't improv. And let's see what we all bring in. And I think initially I like sang a little song or something like that. Then at the end, I mentioned like, oh, I should have brought in my tarot cards. And the kind of class perked up and went, oh, what's that all about? And so we ended up doing this series of shows where we would read tarot cards for an audience member, and then do a show based around that reading.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And like in order to, we kind of like would massage things quite a bit. So like we didn't always know what cards meant right off the bat. So sometimes it was a little bit like, okay, we're making this up a bit. But then at the end, I would always offer a real reading for whoever had their cards drawn for the show. Yeah.
Perfect.
That could be a whole shtick on its own. I'm sure tons of people would go see that.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe I'll bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really fun.
That would be.
Yeah.
Cool. I haven't had my cards read in a long, long time. Like a long time.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should get them going sometime.
Yeah.
One day. Not today. We don't have a lot of time for that.
No. So what else do you have going on, Steph? Tell us any future plans, things happening?
For sure. I'm kind of, I took a really long rest after the summer. And now I'm kind of starting to get back into things a little bit. I currently work for the lovely theater company TYT Theater. So they're a theater for young audiences kind of company. So they have a ton of shows happening right now. And so what I do for them is I take care of their social media, and I occasionally stage manage their shows. So that's mainly what I've been working on these days. We've got one Christmas Carol coming up, which is a one-person interpretation of A Christmas Carol. And we are also working on, we've got a Cinderella panto right now. So if you ever like holiday pantos, it's super cute, very fun. We've got a show for like toddlers called Wake Up Brother Bear. That's about like the changing seasons, and it's like very interactive and very cute. You like sit on the floor and
that's awesome.
Watch kids really get to discover what theater is.
Wow.
And then in January we have got one called Elephant and Piggy, which is based on the Mo Willems book. So lots of stuff going on there.
That's great.
That's amazing.
That's my main stuff.
That's so cool.
They're really sweet.
Working with kids would be so much fun.
Yeah. It's the best. I love it.
Oh, nice.
That must give you really big feels too, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it's like also the funniest, like it's the funniest job that you can have too. Like on the weekend, during Wake Up Brother Bear, a kid like they commented, the performers at one point commented that this kid was very brave because they came up on stage and they're like, I'm not brave, I'm Emily.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Out of the mouth of
I'm so
babes.
sorry. Yeah. So they always have like something super funny to say.
Yeah.
And like you walk away from every single show with like 10 new quotes in your head.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
They're really sweet.
Aw. That would be so
It's
much fun.
almost fodder for future improv.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, kids are natural improvisers. There's if you give them a concept and are like, dude, this is your scenario, then they'll take it and run away with it.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the challenge, right? As being like an adult improviser is trying to find that like same sense of play that you had as a kid.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Do you see a difference with kids nowadays though? Because I know that like my generation and probably your generation too, that we did do stuff like that. We went outside and we played and we used our imaginations and we did all that stuff. Whereas kids nowadays are like, I want my iPad. I'm on the computer. Give me your phone. You know, I'm in the car. I'm watching a movie. Whereas we didn't have any of those options. We had to entertain ourselves.
Yeah. You know? It's different. That's for sure. For example, last, I guess in March of this year, we did a show called The Boy Who Loved Monsters and the Girl Who Loved Peas. And this is coming straight out of lockdown. So we, it was really fresh. And for a lot of people coming to our theater, this is their first time seeing any sort of theater. Yeah. The show took place in a living room. And this small child did not understand that this was a set and like that they weren't able to like interact with the people. And like was crying so hard, left the space with their parent or the adult. Yeah. And like we kind of had the front of house manager out with them being like, hey, like it literally happens all the time. Like kids come in and they're like, oh, we can't handle this. Thank you so much. We'll try again in a year. But this one kid in particular was like just having an existential crisis of like, I have been in my family home for a year and I can be in that space. Why can't I be up there and also be in I'm watching a living, how is this possible? I don't get it. And yeah, it was really sweet. And they ended up coming back for a different show and and it all worked out.
Yeah. Oh, good.
But yeah, it's very surprising. Also totally not at all surprising. Being in a space with kids who have like just never interacted with theater. Like you just get really genuine, totally real reactions. And yeah, particularly for Monsters and Peas, we really had to adjust things in order to make it more kid friendly. We kind of like built the show and we're like, yeah, like it's about a monster, but like it's a really friendly monster that should be fine. Yeah. It didn't matter. We're not happy that the reveal of the monster was that he comes up through a table and kids could not handle that. They were like, what's this terrifying thing? And it just like was literally somebody in a morph suit. Like it was, it was not scary. But yeah, we had a lot of tears and so we adjusted that show very quickly.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, like I think it's just all about like opportunities. So like exposing your kids to really like low stakes spaces where like they can feel free to like cry or run around a bit or like talk to the performers. That's kind of like what the whole thing is about with that company, like introducing your kids to a space that's totally different for them.
That's awesome. You should, okay, this is just me with my brain thinking. You should probably offer something at YTY where it is fully interactive with the kids to teach them. And you know what I mean? Like maybe do one day a month where it's like, here's an intro to theater with your kids. Mm-hmm. And that would be fun. I can't even imagine parents who like all these pandemic babies who like, now they've seen people without masks on, but like for how many, a year and a half, they just saw people's eyes. Like, and I would have people bring their kids into work and I'd be like, hi, cutie. And I'd be smiling and the babies would smile back. And I'm like, how would they even know? Like, because I'm covered and it's like, this is insane. So like a lot of these kids never left the house for a year or more, like never left, you know? So it's awesome that you're doing something that, you know, is bringing them back out and, you know, exposing them to different venues and ideas. And theater.
Oh, no, it's the best. We love it's so much fun. And it brings me so much joy to like see kids get like kind of that spark in their eye too. Like I know I remember the first time I saw a show and like I immediately was like, I demand tap lessons.
Oh no.
And did you continue the tap lessons?
Actually, I did.
Did you?
I
Good
did
for
it all
you.
throughout high school. And I just started again. I just started taking a tap class like 2 weeks ago. So
kudos to you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I did tap for about a month.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And now I kick myself.
Easy.
Oh, it is not easy.
Yeah.
I saw Third Cousins doing it on Tiny Talent Time on Channel 11, and I went, I'm not doing that.
I mean, it'll hit differently for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So some kids walk away and they're like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
And some kids walk away and are like, okay, so now I must sing forever.
Oh, that's great.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So great.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Steph. It was such a pleasure meeting you. You are so sweet and just such a ray of sunshine. Like, honestly, you have a great aura about you. I see big things happening for you. So
absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Steph. Great to meet you finally.
Yes. Cheers. Thank you both so much. It's been such a pleasure. I loved chatting.
Yes. We've learned so much. It's been great.
We've learned too much.
Too much information.
Too much information. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks again. Bye.
Bye.